Yeah, back. No clue. No. It's not even. Welcome to Masculine Journey. We're glad you're with us this week. At least somebody's with us. It's just got three of us in studio, and our friend Mitch on the line, which we'll talk to in a minute. But yeah, I'd like to say we're small and mighty. But if you watch it online, you know we're not really small.
We're not really small.
Yeah. So
I mean,
the mighty's up for question.
yes, definitely.
Yeah, you definitely can see we have a face for radio if you ever log into the YouTube or the Facebook round. Absolutely. My friend, you guys know David, but David was telling me he had a guy at work's been listening to the show, and he's like, "Who's the guy with the white hair that's always on it every week?" He's like, "Which guy with white hair?" He said, "We have the white hair guys and the no hair guys."
That's right.
That's the extent of what we have on the show.
He wasn't talking about me. I know that.
Yeah, you and Andy and Danny were kind of ruled out, right?
We're the no hair guys.
Yeah, exactly. We are continuing our topic of one word topics. Last week we did justice, and this week we're doing mercy. And so it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But before I do that, we have on the line Mitch. Mitch, it's a pleasure to have you back. You got some stuff coming up I'd like for you to share with us if you have a moment.
Sure, yeah. We have our father-daughter at Camp Harrison, which is a great, beautiful place. Not too far from you. And it's, there's a community there, 720, sometimes, comes up September 11th through the 13th. And we'd love to have guys from your area come. If the guy has a daughter, a lot of times, guys have to take time having that connection, finding that place to really connect with girls. And we make it really have it really wanting to engage that.
What kind of age daughters?
Yeah, so we had a girl that was 5 2 weeks ago. We've had fun and had her, and she was really young, but she was great. She had a lot of birthday, and 6 months was there. It's usually probably averaging 12 to 15, somewhere in there.
So not a 36-year-old daughter.
No, my daughter's 25. She has not been one since she was 5 years old. She's been doing this for 1 year, so.
Yeah, you got a 25-year-old then.
Yeah, and she's married, but she's part of mother daughter. And a lot of times we just hang out, for a honeymoon, maybe fish or just sit around the fire.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. What's the dates on that?
Yeah, so the 11th through the 13th of September. So just a few more days. This week is now the last week for registration, but 11th through the 13th, so Friday night through Sunday, we come in. The dinner starts around 6:30. We come in around 5:30. Give them enough time to drive down, and then we go through Sunday around then. It's a great Saturday, beautiful campus. We've been there in 19.
That's awesome. Now, question: what if you have a grandfather and granddaughter? Would that be okay?
Yeah, that's totally cool. We've got a lot of guys. We have guys who bring granddaughters. We have guys who bring like a daughter who's connected with their family but doesn't really have a dad in the family. We've had that before. So certainly that's a possibility. It's fun that they act like kids too.
Yeah. Well, just two different energies there. You have one that's got high energy, one not so much.
Exactly. You'd be amazed. Sometimes you see some of the granddads out wearing their dads.
Yeah. Yeah, the dads know they can go home and rest. The dads aren't going to go home and rest. Yeah,
Speaking as a granddad with 3 granddaughters in that age group,
yeah.
it, you know, I would not be outrunning anyone. I might be outrunning someone to a cot.
And it's a beautiful place. It's great cabin, super comfortable, great food. You can show as much as you want to the daddy-daughter dance Saturday night. So, each party needs to be ready to figure it out. I'm sure. Stand around and answer and do whatever you want. The girls have fun. But yeah, that's a good one. Not too far away.
Okay, so how would they register for that?
They can just go to our website, which is missionoprc.com, and just visit them. And I can send you a link to it. But,
Mhm.
underneath our events are our outfits, our ministries, and all of our different events. Click on that, all registration information is there. And if somebody's struggling financially and need some help, then also don't not sign up because it's money.
Absolutely.
It's expensive.
Hey, do you know when your next women's event's going to be?
Well, we have one coming up in
Mhm.
usually once a year in North Carolina. Looking at the date schedule for 2027. That's usually in April and
Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, if you want to see corn and soybeans, that's the place to go. Yeah, and windmills. Last time I was there was more windmills than I remembered from before. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, Darren, we're on your topic of mercy, and so do you want to share anything about that?
Well, I mean, I was the person that invented mercy. Everybody that's ever met me has really thought of me as a very merciful person.
Yeah, I think they say the people that need to do it the most are strong.
Is that what it is? Yeah, I think I was the one that actually wanted to do justice because I was feeling the need for some justice a few weeks ago. But, and then I missed that show. So, yeah, the topic of mercy, obviously very, very confusing. It doesn't sound confusing. Most people think they know what mercy is. I know I did until Robbie told me that I didn't.
Mhm.
And then, and so, and vice versa, I think. But honestly, it's one of the things that it can be one of the most complicated definitions in the history of the world, and it can be one of the simplest. And the reason I think both of those work is because there are multiple definitions. Biblically, there are multiple definitions of mercy, and we'll talk about those tonight. But I am going to start with just this definition. When I've been pastoring churches, other things over the years, one thing that I tried to always do, because I'm not a complicated guy, I'm pretty, simple minded. I tried to, teach that way. And I came up a number of years ago with, I don't remember who told me, it probably wasn't original with me, but basically I started describing to some friends and Bible study groups and things like that as that grace is when we get something we do not deserve. So grace is when I get something I don't deserve, right? Salvation, we think of grace. Mercy is when I don't get something that I probably do deserve, like punched in the mouth. You say the wrong thing and you deserve the pot against the head if you're saying it to your wife. But you don't get that, so she's merciful with you. And obviously, we walk the line of grace and mercy every day with God, and there's so much more to those. And the very simplest definition that you'll hear on this show anyway of mercy is when you don't get something that you do deserve. And I mean, I deserve death, right? I've sinned. I've sinned a lot.
Mhm.
And I deserve no grace, but I get it. I deserve justice, but I don't. And so that is where God has been very, very merciful for me. And Robbie, in keeping with the father daughter camp, has the first clip where he's going to talk about it from a little different, from a much deeper theological perspective.
Right. You don't get much deeper than that.
You don't.
It's in the depths.
It's a couple fathoms. dive. Yeah. So, yeah, it's an interesting idea, this idea of mercy. And this clip that we're going to play changed my life because it gave me an
We
understanding.
only have 2 minutes, so we won't be able to get you in there before the break.
That's okay.
Well, I can still set it up.
You can set it up,
Yep.
unless I keep interrupting.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you mercy.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I was hoping for grace, but okay.
You know you're my favorite, so it's all right. So I was really trying to understand grace because for years I'd heard all these different things about, like you just said, it's, being given something you don't deserve, right? Or you say grace, or you see a royal person that they say it's her grace, like, and I'm just in a point of total confusion and so I'm doing this deep Bible search, and I'm really trying to chase this down, and I'm watching this particular Sunday afternoon with my granddaughter Lila. I'm watching Barbie, the Mermaid Pearl Princess, right?
Yeah.
And when I watch this movie, all of a sudden I see how Barbie is treating different people and how it brings out the best in them. And she's treating them with this unbelievable favor. Like, even when they treat her horrible, she's still treating them like she's their favorite, like they're her favorite. And all of a sudden I remembered, like, some of the most godly people I ever met. When I was around them, I always felt like I was their favorite. Like I could understand that, wow, I have great favor when I'm in this person's presence, right? And when you feel that way, like I'm your favorite, then you also sometimes experience mercy.
Mm-hmm.
And you sense mercy at a different level when it comes from a person who is showing you grace. And when I began to process the fact that Jesus is full of grace, infinite grace,
Mm-hmm.
then all of a sudden, like, oh my goodness. Well, through this clip, which Barbie's going to encounter stonefish when we come back,
Okay.
and you'll have a chance to see from the depths of Barbie.
That is a cliffhanger among cliffhangers. If you can't wait and miss Barbie. If you want to reach out to us, go to masculinejourney.org. We'll talk to you after the break. Welcome back to Masculine Journey. That is a song I really didn't know, and Darren was telling me he loved this song, and then we realized there's a whole bunch of people that sing it, and I still have never heard it. That tells you anything about my Christian music background. It says a lot more about me than it does about the song.
It's one of my tractor songs. When
Is
I'm on the tractor out in the back 40.
Yeah.
I'm listening usually to like Shane and Shane or
Yeah.
somebody like that.
I figured you're
That's-
listening like he thinks my tractor's sexy.
No, well, I don't have a green tractor, so you know, I mean that's
Yeah.
Getting back to Barbie.
Yeah.
So he left her hero Barbie. She actually, in this typical situation, the evil stepmother was, stole her. She was the king's daughter,
Mhm.
and she was stolen at birth by the evil witch, not unlike Satan, right? And then told lies her whole life, not unlike most of us. And she gets invited to the ball at the castle without her when her mom's out of town, and so she's headed to the ball, right? And she's been given this unusual gift, Barbie has, of being able to bedazzle anything. She can put pearls on anything. So when you listen to this clip, she's going to meet the stonefish. He has poison spikes. You're going to hear a sound when she decides to put pearls on those spikes. And of course, this will be the mercy part of the equation. But I just want you to see grace and mercy in action as you can hear how she treats the most poisonous fish in the sea. And then the result of the change of being treated with grace and mercy.
Here we go.
Mr. Doom. That is one powerful voice you have. Aren't you gonna move it? I thought you. Aren't you listening? Each one of my poisonous spikes means a terrible, horrible end. Much prettier. What? What have you done to me? Yeah. What happened to him? I just de-spiked your spikes. Now no one needs to be scared of you. Great. Just great. Now what am I supposed to do? Just be nicer. Stop trying to frighten everyone. Get to know your fellow fish. Easy for you to say. But everyone runs from me. Once no one's afraid of you, I bet you'll have loads of friends. I don't know. It all seems wrong for a stonefish. And I'm not so good at friendliness. We're heading to the city. There's lots of fish there, Mr. Doom. You can practice being friendly on them. Thanks, but you don't want me to come along? I'd be honored.
Yeah, and to some extent, it's my story, right? That I was covered in spikes and I was bedazzled, but nonetheless. You can see the way she treats him is in no way in response to the way he's treating her. And it reminds me of the story of mercy, like a personal story that I will never ever forget. As you know, I taught special needs kids for years and years. And these people are actually adults. Ryan, the hero of this particular story, was probably about 35 at the time. And for some reason, unbeknownst to anybody in the class, and he was autistic, he had stolen his mother's car keys. And he threw them in a closet, and he shut the closet. That closet locked, and nobody had a key. And we searched all over the church, finally found somebody with a key. When she came and opened that door, Ryan attacked. And this is the most friendliest kid, hugged you till the cows came home, but something came over him like I've never seen, a lot worse than Mr. Stonefish right there. Mm-hmm. And he came running over. He slammed that door so hard after it was open that the whole building shook. And then he turned like he was going to attack his mother. And I stepped in front of him. Now, at this point in time, I'm 6'5", 260 pounds. And Ryan is maybe 5'8" and, 140. He throws me down like I'm ragdoll. It's just like what in the world? I mean, just superhuman strength, to quote Mr. Morelli. And I'm down for the count, and I look up as he heads for his mother, and she looks up at him with absolute grace and mercy and says, "Does somebody need a hug?" And she said it in the most loving voice you have ever heard in your life. And Ryan melted in tears in her lap,
Wow.
just bawling. I've never seen how she could possibly, in this circumstance, I mean, he's literally attacking his mother. And she says, "Does somebody need a hug?" And boy, did he. And how many times is exactly, that argument that you and I had, Doug? If you did, I mean, Darren.
Yeah, I hate it when you try to change my name, Robbie.
You remember that time? I'm sure you do. If you'd have just said,
Yeah.
"Does someone need a hug?"
Does
Well, yeah,
someone need
that's
a hug?
exactly what I needed, But the point is that here comes this unbelievable grace, and then you're shown mercy, right? And I really find sort of the difference in the leper that Jesus healed.
Mhm.
To me, there are two levels of mercy that are talked about in the Old Testament. And one of them has to do with compassion, and the other one has to do with loving kindness. And the compassion is to say, "I'm going to heal you from leprosy." But oh, the loving kindness of touching him,
Mhm.
right? That there's levels of that
Mhm.
that, again, to touch a leper is almost unthinkable, but that's the kindness of God, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing to read back through and realize he touched him before he healed him, right? When he was still in his dirty place, right? When no one else had touched him in years at that.
And to share something a little complicated, but I think you'll enjoy. If you go look in Leviticus 13, where they're talking about how to be healed from leprosy, if the whole person was covered in leprosy, it says that the high priest was to inspect them in Leviticus 13. And then, if you'll read in your New King James Version or 99 out of 100 versions say, and they will, if they're covered in leprosy completely and it's turned white, the priest is supposed to pronounce, according to the translation you'll read, them clean. But in the original language, and I've had a long discussion with an Orthodox Jew on this, he doesn't pronounce him clean. He cleanses. The word "pronounce" is not in the Hebrew.
Hmm.
He claims them.
Hmm.
In other words, that priest has got some godly mercy available to them as God's junior partner. And so Jesus was the high priest of that man.
Mhm.
And he was fulfilling the picture
Mhm.
of literally cleansing the leper, which is, is just beyond cool. It's
Mm.
just beyond cool.
Before we move over to something else, Mitch, what thoughts do you have on the topic?
That's interesting you guys were talking and thinking about your visit in Jamaica a few months ago after Hurricane Melissa, and we built homes there. And I remember one of the first homes we built, these people were, the man that we were building for, it just became internally focused. Afraid people were going to rob them, afraid of what their neighbors was going to do. The fact that what they had, not necessarily Christian, that we were building for. And after, and this is the grace, the mercy type of loving kindness, but also taking care of someone who had such significant loss. And through that process, I saw him soften first, then I saw him work in the punch, and then I saw him saying, "Wherever you guys go to care for another family, coming to me, I know." And so I saw God's mercy first soften him, and then invite him in, and then encourage him to reach out. It
Wow.
was like the Holy Spirit was working through everybody who was there, and His mercy was being poured out on the man, and it changed. And so, similar to what you're saying, it's like we were being used, and then He was to honor the mercy of others. So that's the thing. How and motivates them to represent him to
That's awesome. Thank you, Mitch.
It really is. It's powerful.
Yeah. Before we end up this show, I do want to throw out there, if you know of any masculine clips we could use, please, and not Barbie clips, could you please send us
Yeah.
something on that?
Send us a list.
Very funny. Listen after hours, it's all masculine. I thought Spike was pretty masculine, just saying.
Yeah.
Well, he had a high-pitched masculine voice, yeah.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah. As far as Barbie goes, he was probably pretty masculine. Yeah. You had to see it. That was a great clip, Robbie. I've told you that before. I really enjoyed that clip. Probably as much as the Barbie movie as I want to watch, to be quite honest. But that clip was pretty powerful.
Well, you want to go to another clip of a movie that you might or might not want to watch.
Yeah, not quite yet, because we're going to run out of time. We'll have to do that in the after hours. Darren, final thoughts on Mercy before we head out?
Well, ultimately, I here's what I would like for our listeners to take home with them is it's impossible to give people mercy without grace and without love and without loving kindness, without the love of Christ. You can not give them what they deserve and maybe call it mercy, but it's not really mercy unless you're doing it out of love and humility, understanding that you too need some. And so because I need it, it's a whole lot easier for me to give it to somebody else when I'm in that posture.
So this week, spend some time asking God to remind you of people in your life that's shown you grace, that's shown you mercy, and when He's called you to do it, and if He's calling you to do it now, right? Just say, God, who are you calling me to show grace, to show mercy to, and help me define that in my world. We'll talk with you next week.
Well, we jumped up to actually 3 viewers
Hey,
there.
Mitch, we got about a 7-minute break, then we go to the other show. Do you want to hang out with us?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about the camp again in the next segment.
Thanks for that.
Oh, yeah, glad to have you.
I didn't realize they had women's events too.
Yeah.
And this is not the Ohio group. This is a different.
No, this group from Indiana that does stuff down here too.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's at the well, isn't it, Mitch? And that's the name of it.
Yeah, the well, the name of
Yeah.
it. We've been doing that for a number of years now, since 2009. So,
Yeah,
and we also do the ones we do in North Carolina. And we've done a couple other places. Arizona.
Where in Indiana?
So we are just, that's where we're hosted classes. East of Indianapolis, weekend. So it's in between Cincinnati and Indianapolis area.
it's not a terrible drive from here.
It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's not.
No, not terrible. And it's a great experience, I think. I get to speak at it. It's a little scary because you're a guy who doesn't live anywhere where they have tablecloths and chocolate. But this year,
Do they have Barbie?
They watch Barbie on Saturday night.
I don't know. They start but if you have a wife and a woman,
You know, it'd be neat. I mean, I'm just saying, if we could send our wives as a team.
Yeah, no, Misty's been asking me about, a women's retreat in this message kind of thing. And, when you look at the stuff out in Colorado, they just don't have them very frequent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always easy
And
to
it's
get to it.
expensive.
And it's expensive, yeah.
I know.
well, if they want to come either to Indianapolis or Indy, that's fine. And we also do it in the spring
Okay.
in North Carolina for the same year. So
Yeah,
we do both places. So we love to have them, and we love to have them do it.
That's what I'm saying. If we
Yeah.
sent everybody, Michelle,
Yeah.
Tammy, Sheila. I know Sheila's been to a bunch of them and done them.
Yeah, Sheila's, I mean, in fact, Sheila gets a call about 2 or 3 times a year from ladies at several different churches asking her when are they going to do another captivating retreat. The last one was not called that. But yeah, let us know for sure when the North Carolina one is, because I've got, I don't know, there's probably 100 or so ladies in 3 different churches in the North Carolina area, and maybe some in up in Maryland now, where my son is the pastor. But the they would probably be excited about knowing that something was here close.
And plus, our guys,
That's why we do it. Policy drive for years that North Carolina is,
Mm-hmm.
Really? 80? Wow.
yeah,
And you don't know when, you don't know the dates of that yet. It's just, it'll be in the spring at some point.
you're on the need to know. You just don't need to.
So this all happened after you left Indiana?
Yeah, it's after I left. Now they were doing Indiana Outpost at the time when I was there. Well, no, I went to Colorado first. Yes, I went to Colorado by myself one time, and I went 2 other times, and then I came to a couple outposts.
Really?
Mhm.
You were.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
So we've been doing this for a long, not as many years, but close to
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But the women's thing that didn't start my life.
And that's a constant question we get from guys acting out.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something, available for the women? And so that would be great. I'm going to send out this week for the father-daughter thing. I'll send it out that they need to get registered on our email chain. It'll go out this week, but as that starts coming up, any of your events, obviously, we'd be happy to throw on there and talk about whether they're here in Indiana. We have some people that listen in Ohio right now, and so that would be a short little drive for them to go over there. Yeah.
But you guys actually,
Don't really advertise a lot.
they're not showing videos like Ohio. They're actually doing the talks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Correct.
Good.
We have a whole team.
It's beautiful. Wow. That's wonderful.
Come on, and then if you have a couple, they just, now they get from Southern Baja, Mexico, couple events down there. There's somebody you can help with, or as a couple, we're doing something like that.
That's awesome.
Anything we can do to help somebody from the ministry.
Cabo San Lucas says, dirty job, but somebody has to go,
Like an hour, not quite time.
Just in the outskirts.
Don't you have the wrong impression of it?
Not quite Cabo. I like that.
It's in that general vicinity. Yeah.
It's kind of like we're not quite Asheville.
And I'm thankful for that a lot of times. Yeah. Oh, we got, I think, 2 minutes. I'm not really sure on our perpetual clock.
Roughly.
That one is is at the point where it's about a minute and 15 seconds slow.
Okay.
Next week it'll be about a minute and 30.
Yeah.
At what time does it either get redone or replaced or reset?
Usually when I scream
Loud enough.
really like, we're off by 3.
2011 is when we started doing the radio show. And the camps we started in 2009. Yeah,
And Robbie's been doing stuff here for a lot longer than
it
that.
is. It's kind of crazy. It's been on so long, especially when we had no plans to do anything like this. It was all Robbie pushing us.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We're going to go on in about a minute, I think.
And the clock's been wrong the entire time.
It has. Yeah. Yeah.
Not that clocks are important in radio, it's just
And something to know, Mitch, is Robbie works for Truth Broadcasting, so he's in this studio multiple times a day.
I live with these clocks.
No, it speaks to the amount of disrespect that Robbie gets.
It is. It's like, oh, who cares what time it is?
Robbie's the only one complaining.
Just talk to them, play the outro. Keith will be cutting us off here in a few minutes, so we'll go to radio silence for the last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But it's always a guess of when that's going to happen.
It's usually when these lights change colors.
Oh, I
for
said
us.
it. Mine looked the same.
Yeah, yours does, but mine and Robbie's turns.
No.
No, he's just the host.
There it went.
Which clip do you want first?
To the Schindler.
It only makes sense.
Coming to you from an entrenched barricade deep in the heart of central North Carolina. Masculine Journey After Hours. A time to go deeper and be more transparent on the topic covered on this week's podcast. So sit back and join us on this adventure. The Masculine Journey After Hours starts here now.
Welcome to Masculine Journey After Hours. We are continuing our topic on mercy, and we're trying to figure out what it means. Now, we've gotten a couple different definitions, which has been really cool, and we'll visit those probably briefly again. But if you hear a voice you're not used to hearing on the talk today, on the radio show, it's our friend Mitch from Mission Uprising in Indiana. Mitch, welcome to the show again.
Hey, thanks. Glad to be here.
Yeah, a little bit later, Mitch will tell us about a father-daughter weekend he has coming up in a few weeks here in North Carolina. So if that's something that interests you, we'll get more information on that a little bit before the show ends. But we're going to continue to visit the topic of mercy. And Darren, you have the next clip.
Yeah, so this clip comes from Schindler's List. And it's a brutal movie to watch because it's true. And it does demonstrate the evil that we face in the world. But it also demonstrates some mercy and some grace and some humility. And this is towards the end of the movie where Schindler is getting close to getting caught, found out, and he's making preparations basically to give every last thing that he's got away to help Jews that are in this horrible, evil place escape. And he has been insulated because he was wealthy and different things. And in this clip, you'll hear Schindler and a couple of other voices as well, but you'll hear him repeatedly say, I didn't do enough. I could have done more. I could have done more. Which you may be asking, what in the world does that have to do with mercy? And ultimately, I think we've got a picture here of he's doing something that by all stretch of our imaginations, we would say these people deserve someone to do this good thing for them, right? But why him? Um, he chooses to make it him because he understands one definition of mercy, and that is that there's a kinship in humanity at the most general, but there's more. And these are employees that work for him, and he's doing everything he can to help them out. But you'll hear him, this person who's done unimaginable grace and mercy and gifting to these people, begin to basically stress out and say, I didn't do enough. I could have done more. I should have done more. I wasted so much. And they come back to him and say, no, you did a lot. You thousands will be alive because of what you've done. And the thing that I want us to understand from this is that there is no way to show mercy to someone without the humility, really, that's shown on both sides of this coin. So just listen for that humility in both of the different groups talking.
Some of the piece of earth I want that cloth distributed to the workers. 2.5 meters each. After each person is to get a bottle of vodka. They won't drink it, they know it's cider. Likewise, those who give you cigarettes to be organized. It'll be done. They will pen in here,
We've written a letter trying to explain things in case you were captured. Every worker has signed it.
Thank you. This Hebrew from the Talmud, it says whoever saves one life saves the world entire. I could have got more. I could have got more. Maybe more. Touch us. I could have got more. Aska, there are 1,100 people who are alive because of you. Look at them. If I make more money, I threw away so much money. You have no idea. If I just look at generations because of what you did, I didn't do enough. You did so much.
It's pretty easy to have that kind of heartfelt desire to give mercy to your children, or maybe give it to your wife or your husband, or a good friend. It's totally different to give that kind of mercy to a total stranger, or somebody that's not a total stranger and that has hurt you dearly. And I've shown mercy in the very secular definition of mercy to people before, but it wasn't because I loved them, and it wasn't because I was humble about my own needs for mercy. It was probably because I didn't want to be inconvenienced or any number of different things. But the point that I want to make there is that true biblical mercy, A, it doesn't happen without sacrifice, but B, it also doesn't happen without an immense amount of humility, understanding what it is that God is giving me. And that not just God, my friends. I mean, the two guys sitting in here, you guys have shown me probably more mercy than anybody other than my wife or my children, in my life. And so because we've done a lot of things together and we've hurt each other at different times.
Yeah.
Not intentionally, but we have.
Some kind of intention.
Well, okay, Sam. I was talking about me. I never hurted you intentionally. No. There was that one time. But seriously, that's where we're at, and it's easy to talk about mercy. It's totally different to really bestow it upon somebody.
As you were talking, I was thinking, in some ways it'd be easier to show mercy on my kids or my spouse, but you have to live with them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it might be easier sometimes to show mercy on somebody you never have to deal with again.
Yeah.
Right? Because am I going to continue to have patience as they're trying to change.
Mhm.
You know, and I think it may be tougher for me, you know, to someone really close to me like that.
But I love the angle of this clip that is brilliant, I think, and extremely helpful. You guys have seen the advanced boot camp um, videos that Craig McConnell was speaking on the idea of a battle to fight, and he responded to John. It may have been an original boot camp, but anyway, he said, "What battle are you fighting that's worth dying for?"
Mhm.
Schindler
Mhm.
was giving mercy worth dying. In other words, if he'd been caught,
Mhm.
and any of those people they were talking about the letter that they'd written,
Yeah.
they're and they wouldn't die an easy death.
Mhm.
I mean, it would be unbelievable the torture, like
And it wouldn't
Corey
just be
Tim-
them; it would have been their families too.
right, right. And so, I remember Craig asking that question: "What battle do you have out there that is worth dying for you? That is that important? That would be that?" And you realize, and we talked about it earlier, this idea of compassion, that that we're showing passion based on us being united to people through a situation like this, and what the compassion you could hear, the the grief that you could hear in his voice because he'd experienced the death of so many
Mhm.
good, dear people. And obviously it's bringing out the best for him. And the beautiful part of it for me, if you go to the Holocaust Museum in Israel, um, they have an amazing memorial out there for the people that helped the Jews during World War II. And one of the high spots of that memorial, it's a garden, and it's got these pine trees. It's the pine tree for Schindler, and it's in a whole special section. And they remember. They remember Corey Ten Boom. They remember, the people that risked their lives in order to do it. Um, but to some extent, that's mercy on a different level that is Christ-like, because what did Jesus? He literally was dying, or in the case of a clip we'll hear later, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Um, so Sam,
Yeah.
you have the La Miz clip that we've often played with regard to grace, and you looked at this a little bit differently this time, as I think all of us have at different times. We've not used this necessarily in a merciful context,
Right.
but it is. I mean, the mercy's there because of the grace.
Yeah, when you go back to the not getting what I deserved,
Mm-hmm.
the definition of mercy, that is exactly what this is.
Mhm.
Right, and so what's happened before this is when Jean Valjean had been a guest at the bishop's house, and I can't remember the Madame Gilles or whatever it is.
Mhm.
Gilles, yeah.
You said it right.
Yeah, lives there as well. He's their guest at night, and then he robs them of all their silver, and then he leaves. And when we pick this up, the bishop and Madame Gilles are just kind of snipping back and forth at each other about it. And then the police bring in Jean Valjean again. So we'll pick it up from here.
I'm sorry to disturb you, but I had my eye on this man. I'm very angry with Mr. Valjean. Your eye? Didn't he tell you he was our guest last night? We searched his knapsack and found all his silver. He claimed that you gave it to him. Yes? Of course I gave him the silver. But why didn't you take the candlesticks? That is very foolish. Madame Gilles, fetch the silver candlesticks. The worth at least 2,000 francs. Why did you leave them? Monsieur Valjean has to get going. He's lost a lot of time. Did you forget to take them? Are you saying he told us the truth? Of course. Thank you for bringing him back. I'm very relieved. Release him. You're really letting me go. Didn't you understand the mission? Madame Gilles, confident in the men's wine. They must be finished. Thank forget everything. You promised to become a new man. Promise. Why did you? You're my brother. You no longer belong to me. Put this to me. Don't you see? I've ransomed you from feeling the pain. And now I give you back to God.
One of the things I didn't point out in the visual part of this is when you hear that swooshing sound, Jean Valjean has his hood pulled up and he's kind of trying to hide himself. And the bishop's first thing he does when they're alone is takes that off of him, so he's fully exposed. Right, and it kind of goes on from there. You know, when I hear that clip, I just hear mercy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jim was actually, he was going to be here tonight, but he couldn't make it, was actually wanting to use that clip as well. And his point to it, Darren, was he thought that, you know, potentially in his humanity, the bishop didn't necessarily want to give that mercy. That out of obedience to God, he does. You know, and so I don't know where the truth of that lies in there. As I was thinking about this topic about mercy and grace, and when it's been shown to me, you know, initially I wanted to, you know, maybe think my mom or somebody that I just really loved a lot, and not that I didn't love this person as well, but who has probably shown me the deepest mercy and grace was my ex-wife. I'd been battling, struggling with pornography for years during our marriage, and God had told me, you know, long before I got the nerve up to talk to her about it, And I kept putting it off and kept putting it off. And when I did talk to her about it, she had incredible grace and was kind to me. And she never once shamed me, even through our divorce. Through that, there was never once shame that came from her. There was never once condemnation. It was just grace and love, even though I had hurt her deeply. And that's such a special feeling, you know, that it speaks to her character was.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You know, that's the one that kind of came to mind as I thought about this topic this week was, you know, I've known what that's felt like. And you know you deserve so much worse.
Mm-hmm.
You know you deserve everything that's coming at you and more. And when it just doesn't come and there's not the anger and the, you know, I'm not talking to you anymore kind of thing that goes with that,
Mm-hmm.
it changes you.
Yeah. And we know that we have as many women listeners as men, if not more. And I think we've all heard at one time or another a wife say, my husband better not have an issue with that. Because, I mean, if that's, I'm not putting up with it. I'm going to leave him or, you know, whatever. I've heard that from a lot of ladies who, yeah, that is what they say. And it may be true in some cases, but most of the time it's not. They do figure out a way to show mercy and grace. And if you're a lady and you're listening, I would beg you to wrestle with that. You and God talk that over, because the fear your husband has right now of your reaction is probably the single biggest factor of why he's not admitting that he has a struggle and that he needs some help. And I'm not putting that off on you. That's not your fault. It's not your fault at all. And you're not to blame for that in any way.
Yeah, you're not lacking in it.
No, none, period. Nada. But you do have the ability to give him a tremendous gift if you and God can work that out and you can find the way to do that.
Yeah, my wife said those words. I mean, which was part of the reason I never wanted to talk to her about it. She was like, if I ever, walking out of Fireproof, the movie, you know, I can hear it like it was yesterday. We go to see, if I ever knew you were doing, I would leave you in them, you know, and I'm like, yeah, that's anything that happened. And so, you know, as it was when I got healing and actually from this message and from working with you guys, I would consider it the greatest gift I ever got. Was, unfortunately, there was no doubt I had to tell her, and I had to see the look in her eyes as I broke her heart, right? And unfortunately, there was consequences, and there should have been.
Mm-hmm.
However, she never loved Robbie because she never even knew who Robbie was.
Mm.
And so the false Robbie was the one who'd been getting love for 20 some odd years.
Mm-hmm.
And at the point in time that I was forgiven, I really felt love from a woman that I had never felt in my entire life. Like she loves the real me, not the one that I pretended to be for however long or whatever period of time. And to me, that makes the connection between love and mercy. So if you look in the 23rd Psalm, it says, "Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life." Well, the word that's used in Hebrew there is one of the two words of mercy. It's hesed. And hesed could also be translated loving kindness. And the first letter, and you can hear the H sound in hesed, is the letter het, the Hebrew letter het, which has to do with the marriage word begins with the letter het, and the letter itself looks like the wedding hoopah. If you can picture a hoopah, that's what the het looks like. And so
here, Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, I got
no.
Yeah,
You were married under a.
Oh, an arbor. Yeah.
You were married under an arbor.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a hoopah.
It's a hoopah. Okay.
You can call it an arbor. But
You can call it an arbor, but it's a hoopah. And you can hear the H in hoopah because that's the idea of this marriage between. If you just take an H and look at it, you got two things coming together, right? But this idea of hesed is through this union with another human being comes this supernatural. The S sound in the hesed is Islamic, and it's a powerful, unbelievable letter that has to do with actually the force of gravity. And so this idea of supernatural godlike thing to bring this unity together and loving kindness is something that is brought out through your ex-wife and through my wife in that moment. That was completely like, there is no way that I can imagine somebody forgiving something like that in their own strength. You knew it came from God, and you knew, that it was, a gift of gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Mitch, we haven't.
Can I share something?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just going to
please.
ask you to share. That's good.
There's one thing that you guys were talking about. Isn't that why we all relate so much to that clip, that part of the movie? For me, I think about him inviting him in the first place, the first act of mercy. Is here's a criminal who's holding up a paper saying that criminal, and they let him in. And so he offers mercy, and then out of his fear, out of John's fear, he just does it again. Like he can't help but go back to the fear and run, and then to get mercy again. And you know that he feels violent. You know that the bishop feels violent, and yet again, like what you just said, it's so powerful. He's like compelled by the heart of God and to offer mercy again. And he says that the mercy is ransom. I mean, like you said, exposing, telling them that his potential freedom from him and give him back to God. When you think about it, that's over. That's all that happens. That's highly nice. Also, probably nothing that's in the news with his food, right?
Yeah. So we'll use wooden spoons.
And it's like, wow, I am that guy. I am John. Don't be wife, my friend,
Absolutely. Yeah, it's such a powerful scene. There's some really powerful scenes in that movie. I don't know about the musical, but still.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah. We'll just keep. That was the best.
It's
version.
almost as good as Sheep Detectives.
Yeah. Mitch, while we have you talking about some things, tell us a little bit about the camp you have coming up.
Well, our father-daughter team is coming up, and just wanted to, I really appreciate you giving me a chance to share about it, because it's September the 11th through the 13th, kind of the last week of registering for it. So we offer a father-daughter team here in not too far away. And it's just a way, so many times dads struggle to connect with their girls. Just open the communication lines. You get fun often brings you to the same level as your daughter, and you build that communication. So we try to focus as much as we can around other men who love God and who love their kids. And so from 6 to 16, they come from Friday night, Thursday, Friday night till Sunday noon. Really have an incredible time on Saturday. This can't Hawaiian people is a beautiful place in the mountains, and it's just an incredible experience. We love to have guys come, bring your kids, bring grandkids. My daughter's 25 now, so once again, so yeah, that's the option. You go to missionuprising.com and check it out, and just go over to our events, and there's it's right there, some of these churches. And also, I think I said this earlier, is that if somebody's struggling with financial end of it, we need some help. I'm sure there's you have some scholarship dollars available.
Thank you, Mitch. My daughters and I went to father-daughter camp through Girl Scouts, and there wasn't really anything like this around, but we still talk to this day that some of their favorite memories are the weekends that we would spend at father-daughter camp, doing the silly plays, when you did skit night or doing all these things. That they still laugh at the stuff that we did back then, and it's been 30 years, more than 30 years since that happened.
I have girls who've been going, from the time they were 6 until they graduated from high school, and in their last camp, crying and trying to figure out what they're going to do moving forward. And that anchor that in the year where they just spend time alone with each other. No other kids, no mom, no other people around them, and it's all the Girl Scouts. And that's why it sticks, and these things will hopefully develop into us.
Absolutely. And it gives you some structure around so you don't feel like you have to figure it all out on your own.
Right. It's all done for you.
Yeah.
You just have to show up.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Final thoughts, guys, on Mercy? Anything you'd like to add that we haven't talked about? Or revisit, potentially?
Well, I think I would like to add one thing, and we didn't play the clip from Saving Private Ryan, but there's a phrase in the movie when the captain is trying to justify how in the world did I deal with do I deal with all these men that I've lost, and that's where that phrase, the mission is a man, comes from. And the thought that I would like to throw out there is mercy is not without risk, not just to yourself, but you may show mercy to others, and that risk is to the other people that love you too. They were doing something to be merciful to one guy, and it cost other people their lives. And many times when we show grace to other people, the cost will go beyond us. And so don't be surprised at the backlash that you might get from someone else who's been affected seemingly negatively because of the mercy that you're showing someone else.
Yeah, or they're seeing a lack of justice.
Mhm.
Right? Go to masculinejourney.org and go to missionuprising.com if you want to go to the father-daughter camp. We'll talk to you next week.
Madam Jill?
Hey, Mitch, we're still on.
She's been affected.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I always enjoy being out with you guys. I appreciate it. The camp comes up, one of the things that we are trying, I know we have guys that come from Charlotte, come up, I've got some friends that are still in Bruce Stephens, Asheville and Black Mountain, come over, that we really want to offer this to you guys in your area. Trying to open up.
Yeah.
So you can, there's some real other ways to run that group for you to.
Oh, absolutely. And I'll get it sent out this week to our email list, just letting them know. And then, yeah, please keep us informed of anything you have coming up, and we'd love to have you back whenever you have time.
Yeah, no, of course, we certainly want to talk about
Yeah.
Comes up with plan that out a little bit. So make sure.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Because I definitely know that my wife would like to go to one, and a lot of the guys from camp have been asking about something. And to be quite honest, I wouldn't want to say this on the air, but Mitch, I trust you. I trust you and your wife. I trust Julie. You guys are going to lead